Hey y'all, welcome back. Loba's Crafts here, and today we're going to be working on the Virgo coaster. I have a very interesting whip and chat for this coaster today. Just to let you guys know, to date we have the Aries coaster, absolutely gorgeous, the Taurus coaster, the Gemini coaster, happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. I did do the Cancer one correctly off camera, and then obviously with you guys in that last whip and chat video we did the Leo coaster. So all of these are done. Let's get on to the Virgo coaster. Now I have a very crazy love-hate relationship with Virgos. I'm surrounded by them. A lot of my family are Virgos. My husband is a Virgo. My best friend is a Virgo. One of my other best friends has a Virgo rising and I believe a Virgo moon. My sister is a Virgo rising at 29 degrees. I'm surrounded by them. But I have a very crazy love-hate relationship with them, so we're going to get cracking on it. I think I'm going to start with the number 8 for this one. Let me just get this all prepped. Remove the... But yeah, I figured I'd wait to do this one because, like I said, I have a very crazy love-hate relationship with Virgos. They're not only my favorite type of people, they are my least favorite type of people. And we're going to get as to why. But good things about Virgos. They're at least very introspective and they do give good criticism when it's warranted. Virgos at least can see a little beyond the veil. Now the negative part to that is that they always think they're right. I don't believe in all that because I believe that everybody is wrong. I don't necessarily believe that just because you are told something by specifically a Virgo that it's correct. Not all the solutions work, right? Which leads to the next thing. They are legitimately the most selfless, kind-hearted people. However, it leads to a God complex. Not a fan of that. That God complex, the pride, the I do A, B, and C to the point of A, B, and C, forgetting that they also are takers. It gets in the way of their selfless good nature. So, you know, we kind of have to deal with that. They really are lovers. Like, let me put that out there too. Virgos really are lovers. But they have a really hard time of standing their boundaries, or at least establishing them, which is why they attract people like myself. I'm an Aries sun. I think that's why they typically tend to kind of attract people who are braver than they are. Again, they always kind of come back with the whole, you know, they are who they are type people. They're very immovable. For such a mutable sign, they do come off as like they're not adaptable, or they don't really adapt well. They hide their fear a lot. They want to come off as those who are, they're going to stand and remain stoic and strong until they can fall apart in secret. One of the main things about Virgos is that their favorite place is the bathroom. And that's not due to anything else besides the fact that Virgo does actually rule that part of the body, like the intestines and the guts and things like that. But you will find that a Virgo's favorite spot is always the bathroom. However, it's always the bathroom as well because that's their time to kind of get their thoughts in order. They kind of find themselves safe in a secluded spot like a bathroom. It's the only place too where a lot of them, if you look at their charts or you understand their stories, that they were ever really truly allowed privacy. Virgos are very interesting subject matters because you want to know so much about them, but they never really let you in the way that I think a lot of other signs do. Like I said, I'm an Aries sun, but I also have a Gemini moon, and I love everything communication. I need and strive for communication. Virgos are weird. It's like they want to let out all of their secrets. They want to, you know, someone to talk to them and understand them, but unfortunately they find themselves in a position where they feel like no one will understand them, which is horrible. It's a horrible place to feel like that. They don't usually ask for advice, but when a Virgo does, I want to just give you guys a little bit of advice. When a Virgo asks you for advice, you might want to ask them first, do you really want the truth, or do you want me to lie to you? Not for any other reason except for the fact that they are quick to misconstrue someone else's outsider perspective. Virgos are represented by the Virgin. They are the sign that represents and kind of stands on the service in which they offer to others. They are considerably the teachers. However, they have a very hard time being the student. So when they are actually proven wrong and they become very beside themselves, they become reclusive, they become honestly really bitchy. It's because they don't know how to say sorry. They try to justify versus actually apologize. Because it's really hard for them to admit that they're wrong. They're actually their biggest critics. I try to give my Virgos, all of them, some type of grace, but they are legitimately, you have to be psychotic to deal with them on a daily basis. I'm not gonna lie. Doesn't matter whether they're male or females, although the female Virgos are definitely a lot easier to deal with. I prefer that. Male Virgos are almost to the point where they're unfortunately undesirable. I love my husband to death, but there are times where I'm like, you are interesting, sir. Like, you push me to that edge. But that's what they do. They make you think outside the box sometimes, although they may not see the box themselves. Now, the thing about Virgos is that they like to, they do kind of like to instigate. They actually are really big pranksters. If you actually will, if you know a Virgo, I would suggest that you really don't actually piss them off. They're really big pranksters. Like, they do it all in good fun, but they do have a tendency to wake up on like the wrong side of the bed sometimes, and if you mess with them the wrong way, oh no, you will definitely endure a little bit of hell. But they are big pranksters. They're really, honestly, really big teddy bears. I mean, again, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with them, but they are kind of my favorite people. Now, those who are in relationships with them, I will give you some advice. You have no choice but to give them grace. They may never give you grace, okay? They may never give you grace, but give them grace. And I want to tell you why. Let me see if I can zoom that in just a little bit. There we go. I want to tell you why to give them grace. A lot of them were not allowed to be themselves growing up. As someone who studies astrology and has a background doing readings and understanding the chart as a whole, it's very common to come across a Virgo whose family life has been less than normal. Like I said, I'm a Virgo. I'm an Aries sun. What letter was that? N? I think that was N. Yeah, that was N. Okay, let me put that back, because I gotta finish the X's. I see a couple of X's there. Some of them don't really come from like good homes or understanding homes. Virgos are usually born to families where there's too much chaos. And I usually say too much chaos because they are trying to find a way to make sense of it all. A lot of them really don't come into fruition that they can't save everybody, because Virgos are definitely more of a people pleaser type energy. But they don't understand that in people pleasing comes the sacrifice of doing good for themselves. Virgos have a really bad tendency to, while they guilt others, they actually are guilting themselves. They're unfortunately the type to project their own insecurities onto others, and that's just the truth. Yes, you have to give them grace, because unfortunately they are the sign that will not learn. They'll be aware of it, but they won't really learn it, that they are not invincible, that they cannot be the superhero in every story. Okay, again, coming back to that God complex. They're also deflectors. They're really masterminds of manipulation in that way, because while you might be looking for even just a regular conversation, they will turn it into, oh, well, why don't you look at this? Why don't you look at that? Why? They will distract themselves by worrying about your shit, essentially, and trying to help you through your dysfunction to perfect your life, while theirs is burning around them, unfortunately. They are the sign to learn things way too late. And again, these are all due to just the parents' lifestyle that they live. Some of them are shameless, honestly. And I say that because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it seems like across the board, whether or not I deal with clients. Sorry guys, hold on. Sorry guys, the dogs are always going off. I don't even remember what I was saying. Perfection, I think, is where I was going with that. It's legitimately always to perfect. That's my Aries pup. But yeah, it really is kind of hard. Oh, that's what I was saying. So across the board, whether it's clients or just personal experience as well, I come across a lot of people who state that Virgos are cheaters. I'm here to kind of like tell you they're not. They have a tendency to fall into that type of, I guess, criticism, because they're very sneaky, and they are actually, again, very manipulative. Other aspects of their charts, like if they have a Sagittarius, Gemini, Scorpio energy, like usually those energies, I would say, yeah, they have the tendency to, and again, everybody has a tendency to do things like that. But it's really crazy because I've never really come across, well, that's a lie as well. I have in the past. Oh, Maximus. Sorry guys, my dog is having a fit today, and I'm having a day too, because I just saw another X. Here we go. Virgos are honestly, like, you just got to be on their good side. Now, I won't say that, again, they won't come off sneaky. They won't do petty, spiteful bullshit that will make you think otherwise. But, again, to be honest with you, they are really good lovers, but in relationships, you really want to think about if you want to be a part of that. Again, they have traits that most people won't deal with. They're very avoidant. And if you're not used to someone being completely avoidant with you, I would suggest you not be with someone like them. They do like their space. A lot of them have really special talents, and a lot of them are full of useless information, to be honest with you. But I enjoy being around them. Again, like I'm in Aries, so what Virgos teach me is to kind of not let other people tell me otherwise, including them. Now again, they do say spiteful shit. They act very spiteful. Again, you gotta catch them on a wrong day. However, they're also, again, the type to, they don't want to be proven right. I think a lot of them actually want to be proven wrong. So, because they're not the type to, like I said, again, they don't like to forgive, or not forgive, they don't like to apologize. They're very forgiving creatures, but they're not the type to want to, they're not the type to want to be proven incorrect. Because when they are proven incorrect, when they're proven wrong, then you suffer the consequence as to, oh, well, I knew that. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Oh, let me do the P first. This is a very interesting palette, like color palette for Virgo. I would not have chosen these colors for Virgo, but okay. Again, they are some of my favorite people. They usually don't steer others wrong. Like, I have really yet to see a Virgo steer someone else wrong, but I have seen Virgos lose their way. Unfortunately, the thing about Virgos is that they also, because they rule the 6th house of health, pets, service, work, co-workers, the relationships that are opposite of Pisces, which is like old age and karma and things like that, you kind of see how they fall into a fantasy land that may or may not be suitable for them. They unfortunately are very susceptible to believing that their morals are correct until their morals are actually proven incorrect, or their theories are proven incorrect. Again, this goes into learning the hard way, unfortunately, where things might be obvious to you, depending on your sign. Some people who are Virgos don't necessarily want, they want to see it for themselves. Okay, they really do want to see it for themselves. You kind of have to allow them that, because what happens is that they are very easy to resent you, unfortunately. It's because they rather remain, I want to believe, innocent, honestly, because I can't sit here and say that it has anything else to do. They want to believe in the best in people, where, like, someone like myself, I'm an Aries. A lot of us Aries already know that everybody's full of bullshit. We already know that not everybody has their best intention for you. Gemini people too. Gemini people are the first ones where it's like, no, if it doesn't benefit me, I'm really not messing with you. Scorpio people, no. If it doesn't, look, Scorpio people are one of those people too. They're also ruled by Mars like Aries are. Nope. You can't mess with certain signs because what you see is what you get. Virgos are not like that. Virgos want to have faith. Virgos want to have hope. Virgos want to believe in cupcakes and rainbows. Okay? They don't want to believe in war, destruction. They want to believe that they're doing something for the greater good. Doesn't usually work like that in the end, which is what makes them very cold. And sometimes incredibly heartless. Now, when it comes to compatibility, friendship-wise, I think some of the best people to be best friends with definitely are Virgos. You definitely need a Virgo in your life to, again, put things into perspective. For the most part, they're the first ones to want to throw down. I'm not really sure as to why. Everyone wants to say, oh, Aries is always loud and obnoxious and wants to fight. Have you guys been with a Virgo? Have you pissed off a Virgo? Because if you haven't pissed off a Virgo, please don't say that it's Aries. Because every Virgo I know in my life is ready to throw down. They're the one earth sign that I can say, nah, they're ready to fight all the time. Did I have an extra? Yeah. But Virgos do, like I said, they are the ruler of like the gut. So if you know a Virgo and they're constantly in and out of the bathroom, please just leave them alone. They literally run and regulate that part of the system in the body astrologically. So you may know a lot of them who have sensitive tummies. Just cater to that. They usually always have a good sense of humor, I believe. They're not really funny, but they got a good sense of humor. What else? Otherwise, like I said, they're really, honestly, really lovable, kind people. I mean, I mess around with them because it's always something with them. Unfortunately, they are incredibly work-oriented. They have a very unhealthy relationship to, again, service, work. But they'll never really find one that's broke. Which is really interesting for me to say. They don't really like being down and out on their luck. So when they feel like the world is crashing around them, they are insanely freaking dramatic. And there's no escaping that, unfortunately. But they are really great business partners. You know, you can always get things done. You can always rely on one. But Virgos are fickle. They're incredibly fickle. They're not necessarily the easiest sign to deal with, but you gotta give them time. They'll find a way to make it up to you. They'll find a way to let you know that you matter. After they completely tear you down and like make you feel like you're shit. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. Not saying it's right, but that's just how they work. They're not really the best with words. They're really people who their love language is most of the time acts of service. So, you know, they want help. They really do. It's really rare that I know a Virgo whose like love language is like physical touch or quality time or words of affirmation. Like me as an Aries, my love language is words of affirmation. So being with a Virgo whose love language is acts of service, it's really hard. Because you could do everything, and that's something that they're all going to do. It doesn't matter whether they're your friend, your lover, whatever. They're all going to make you feel like it doesn't matter how much you do. It's not enough. Because it's never going to be enough. They're going to want more and more and more. And I think, again, it's just to perfect. It's nothing really more than that. If it is more than that, it's due to a lack in which they have obtained, again, growing up in their specific childhoods. And I'm telling you, it's only with Virgos that I see this across the board with my clients, their relationships. Virgos have what, honestly, I'm not really sure as to why. They have very chaotic and to the point abusive, toxically, like, family. And it's so scary sometimes because they are trying to put together, or trying to put back pieces of what brokenness looks like, that they remain broken themselves. And it's hard for them to let someone help fix them. Not that they want to be fixed. They want to be the knight in shining armor because they have been failed so many times. But you got to give them time. When they are vulnerable with you, just, you know, try to find a way to let them be open without judgment. They are very, again, critical, judgmental, very, honestly, they're kind of messed up when it comes to all that. They are that type of person where it's like they make you feel out of place, but I promise you, when you allow them some space, they realize, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have treated you like that. I didn't think that you would take it that type of way. Thank you for letting me be myself, because I'm not allowed to be myself in whatever type of circumstance that they're left in. And this is just all, again, my own personal experience, from what I do know, from what is to be expected. I love my Virgos, though. I really do. I feel like without them, and you know what, some of them really are the type to, you know, they give good advice when they allow this space for you. Some of them are really, like, dim-witted, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, some of them, like, don't know how not to be self-centered, and that's because they're trying to obtain a goal, and then while in obtaining that goal, they kind of lose sight of what they are really doing it for. Virgos need purpose. Okay, so Virgos legitimately need purpose. There's no way around that. If they don't have a purpose, they're dysfunctional in each and every single way. There's absolutely nothing to bring them back. Unfortunately, that would be the opposite side of them, the Pisces side, when they finally are experiencing that opposition that comes out. And we all do it, no matter what sign we are. We all have our oppositions. Like, I'm an Aries, so my opposition is Libra. When I start to really, you know, analyze myself and I make sense of it and I balance things out, that's when things start to make sense and I'm able to process and move through. Virgos have a little bit of a harder time versus maybe Pisces, who again is their opposite. Pisces have an easier time moving into a Virgo mentality, where Virgos have a really hard time moving into a Pisces mentality. Again, that Pisces mentality, to go into it as a Virgo, means that they have to understand that there is such thing as an opinion. There is such thing as a unforeseen circumstance. There is something that they cannot control. Virgos have control issues. They do. Pisces, not that they don't have a control issue, they're just more open to what's beyond the veil. I know you guys are probably like, why'd you leave the 7 for last? Because that's the one that has the most stuff around. So see, this is more of a Virgo color, this gold. So I would say that. Virgos are also very into nature. They like to see green. which is really nice. They like to connect themselves with the earth in some way. They kind of like a routine. They do. They kind of like a routine. You'll never really catch one out of routine. If you do catch one out of routine, something's definitely going on. Be suspicious. They are actually, and they do become suspicious. Like I said, they do come recluse. Give them space. Give them the right amount of space. Come back. I promise you, they will find their way back when they're ready. Some of them like to process alone. Others do like to kind of understand what their options are across the board before making a decision. Some of them don't recognize some of them don't realize the intellect that other people have. Again, when it comes to projection, unfortunately, Virgos are the type of sign to, in order for them to feel bigger, they will minimize you. Again, there's a very big love-hate relationship with that. But again, they all do it. Again, nothing's really good enough for them. They are always going to look for perfection, which is really odd because you would think that that's a Libra trait, because Libra talks about justice. Libra is ruled by Venus. Libra speaks about the balance and harmony and beauty of things in that way. Or even thinking about Taurus. Taurus is very indulgent, materialistic. They are very specific, but they're not. They are not about the perfectionism. They are actually more abstract. Where, again, for a very adaptive or mutable sign like Virgo, they are trying to scrub every little scuff off the floor. They are trying to better you, because if you are a better you, then they will be a better them. Unfortunately, they are the sign that I can say their love is transactional. No matter what it is, it's always going to be transactional. So again, if that's not something you are capable of dealing with, your best bet is to not be with a Virgo, male or female. Some can find their way around the darkness. Other people who are Virgos, they will combust, and they'll combust in a way where they don't realize what they're destroying until after the fact. Some of them don't really know what they do, to be honest with you. Some of them are so, I did not realize that that was the outcome or the consequence or the that would be the cause and effect to what I was doing. A lot of them are very immature. That is something you have to take into consideration. Some of them don't know how to articulate themselves because, again, they believe that nobody understands them, that their mind is different from anybody else's. They are not of this earth, to be honest with you. But when you need a hug, honestly, I believe that Virgos give the best hugs. When you're looking for someone who's willing to try something new, they are really the type to try something new, especially food. And again, leading back to the intestines and things like that, that they rule. They're really the first to really want to go out and try something new, especially food. Food is like amazing for them. They also find interest in like the weirdest things. Like you would never think that Like, they will come up with the weirdest interest. They will come up with the weirdest thing as to like, well, what do you think about this hobby? Huh? What is that? You know, it could be like hog hunting or just something random where you would be like, where did you see this? Why did you see this? Like, what is the significance of it? They will make you, they'll make you ask the question as to why. What are you doing? What are you up to? What are you? They are really good at surprises. They're good at romance. They like to put in a lot of detail, and I think that that's again what they tend to do to other people, but they don't do for themselves. They will analyze and nitpick every fucking detail about you, but they won't do it to themselves, because then they'll like make themselves cry in a corner. You also can't call them out on their shit, because they will again make it seem like you are the vicious person and an asshole. If you can't deal with it, I'm letting you know right now, do not get with a Virgo. It's not going to be good for your health, mentally, at all. The one thing I'm going to be honest with you that I hate about Virgos, and it's really not a dig at them, but it is something that's bothersome, because I know a lot of people who experience this with them. They expect the worst out of people so bad that when they are in the position where they can be surprised, or where they can be, you know, where people prove them that they can do something, they don't know how to act afterward, like at all, which is kind of weird. And my example would be like, you know, say you go out to a party, and because you are, say, maybe overly exuberant, or you are, you know, usually, you know, you're the type like me who curses too much, or things like that, you can go out and then they realize that everybody gravitates to you versus like maybe them, and then they're in complete awe because they completely totally expected for you to publicly embarrass them, which is like their number one thing. They cannot be publicly embarrassed. They will fucking lose their goddamn shit, where like other people just kind of deal with it because it's a part of life. Apparently it's not part of their lives, but whatever. Yeah, they care about how they look to others and how they're presented, and it's really kind of interesting when they say, oh, well, I was surprised by you, why? And it's again like they will believe in a negative before they give benefit to the positive. So again, if you're not into something like that, don't be with one. Don't even with like friendship wise, be weary of that. Because again, although they're the first ones to want to go and fight and like do the things if it need be, they are also the first to make sure you present yourself correctly. Again, they like to dictate, they like to take control, they like to be in charge, they're very, again, detail oriented. They don't like liars, although they are and a lot of them are honestly some of the worst liars, but like some of them are also they'll do anything so you won't be mad at them type of energy, which is, I mean, for me, what color is that? That's not even, yeah, we can get rid of that. Some of them don't like when, like, they do not like when people are mad at them. Like, they do not like at all when people like legitimately have a reason to be completely pissed off at them. They act like, they either make it like, oh, like, well, you did it to yourself, or they literally will do anything to like get your attention. Not really sure why that's the case, because that's, to me, that's out of pocket. Like, stand on what you did, stand on what you said. Like, why do you care if I'm mad at you or not? Because you didn't care at all. It's kind of just crazy. They're kind of all over the place. So, but I think that that's honestly all that I have when it comes to my love-hate relationship with Virgos, just in general. And again, this is just an overall synopsis. Again, I love all my Virgos. They all present something positive in my life. They might drive me insane, because trust me, I would like to strangle most of them on a regular basis. But they really are some of the best people to kind of have in your corner. Especially, you know, when it comes to work ethic, when it comes to, you know, really wanting to endure and have better for yourself. They really will be your biggest motivators. Whether or not you expect them to be. They may not always say it, but they are proud of who they, you know, who they're usually with, what they represent. They do need some praise, though. They do need some grace. They do need some child, you know, they need some type of recognition that they're doing the right thing. I think a lot of them forget why they do things, or why they are doing their life the way they are. And unless they're given like a reason to remember, I will tell you, they may say, oh, well, my love language is acts of service, and, you know, words don't mean shit, blah, blah, blah. Still tell them that you're proud of them. Still tell them that, you know, hey, I see you, I appreciate you, I love you. Let them know that they're worth something, because they really are the zodiac sign where they will believe that their value is placed in what they do for others and not what they are able to do for themselves, which is heartbreaking, because no one should ever feel like that. You should always want to do for yourself first, and that's just a general statement. But as much as anybody else needs stability, they need stability as well. But I do believe that that is it. I'm going to finish this coaster off camera. I hope you guys enjoyed this little astrological love-hate relationship for the sign for this coaster. I guess I'm going to finish the bottom part off camera. But yeah, this has gone long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye, all.